Commissioner Snell.
Here.
Chairman Shotwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. This is your first opportunity for public comment. Each individual will state their name, have 3 minutes to address the board. Subject matter of yours shall be pertinent to items on the agenda. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate nor answer questions. Any public comment? Seeing none, entertain a motion for the minutes.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and support. Any questions, corrections, or deletions? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any unfinished business to come before the board? Seeing nor hearing none, new business, Barrigi construction status update. Administrator Controller Overton, the floor is yours.
Well, I'd invite Dick Verigi from Verigi up to give us an update. And the PowerPoint, please. There it is. Floor is yours, Dick.
Can you turn this screen on over here so I can see what? Thank you. Well, good morning. I hope everyone had a blessed and nice Easter weekend this past weekend. It's we're in the home stretch now. We're winding this project down, and just want to go through where we are and take you through a couple pictures and give you a feel for what we've achieved so far together. I do want to commend again Mike Overton and his staff, especially Blake Upright and Derek and Nikki and everybody that my project manager, Chris DeLue, has worked with. They've been very helpful. The whole county has been very helpful as we've tried to put this project in. It wasn't easy to put a lot of new systems in buildings that are occupied, but they were very understanding and very accommodating, so thank you. Next slide, please. So this is the 100%, everything that's done. You can see that we've finished all the lighting in the buildings, all the HVAC at the Wesley Jail, North Lawn, JDOT, Youth Center Airport, JDOT, and the Human Services Building. The solar is completed at the Event Center, JDOT, Youth Center, Airport, HSB, and the courthouse. And then the building controls are all done as well. The only ones that really need to be finished up is a little bit of work here in the tower building. And then the geothermal is done at both buildings, both the Human Services and courthouse. So, and same with the thing. So the nice thing here is you can see some overhead shots of the solar that's at the courthouse there, and the EV charging stations there, and you can see the airport, canopy structures there for solar. Next slide, please.
I have a question on that one.
Sure.
Do you want to take questions while you go through or just finish?
Sure, that's
Okay.
fine.
Thank you. Just real quick, and I know you've been over this before, so I know you're repeating yourself, so I apologize, but I've had a couple constituents ask this question again. I just want to make sure that I'm telling them correctly. So is there a mechanism on the solar panels that will clean the snow and debris off?
No, it's basically the sun.
Oh, the sun.
As it melts, it'll just melt off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
There's
you.
there's no mechanism that does that. It's just natural from the sun. And then you can see, can you go back to that slide? The one before that. Just backwards.
While he's doing that, I can add a little bit to that. The solar panels are also bifacial, so they actually gain a little bit of light from the bottom as well.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay,
so-
you have to talk in the microphone.
oh, sorry. Just to add a little bit more to the solar panel question, the solar panels are bifacial, so they actually receive light from both sides of them. It's only about 15 to 30% is what you can get from the bottom, but it still adds up over time. And for things like snow, that the ground being white reflects to the bottom side, and so the panel starts to receive some energy, and it heats up in that process and actually melts the top of the panel a lot faster than just waiting for the snow to naturally melt and slough off.
And things like dust and pollen would just burn off. Is that what I'm hearing?
The rain,
Rain would
cleans
wash
them
it
off. Yeah,
eventually.
they're all at an angle, so as it rains, it pretty much just washes the dust and pollen off.
Perfect. Thank you. Nothing further.
Commissioner Williams, I just wanted to show you, as you can see on both of these pictures, you can see the tilt so that it will, eventually melt off. So, okay, yep. Next slide, please. So this is basically 99% at the courthouse. It's a picture of where the new sub-basement geothermal pumps are on the left there that we installed with the drives on those. And then you see the ductwork on the roof for the rooftop units. That's the only thing that has to be completed yet. There's a little bit of ductwork that has to be finished yet. That's why it's at 99%. Next slide.
Dick, is that ductwork insulated?
Yes. Yep. This is the tower building. You can see the first picture there on the left. This is also at 99%. You can see that the air handlers are inside those doors. Those are the new air handlers that are actually bringing in outside air, because you didn't have units that had outside air capability. Those that have outside air, they have a cooling coil from the chillers that are out here on the roof, on this level, and a heating coil from the boilers. You see the new boiler plant in the middle that was installed, and all the piping and insulation and pumps associated with that. That's completed. And then you can see the pipe chase for the systems there that are right there. I think that might be done now. I have to go back and look at it, but I think this is almost done, blocked in. So that's just about completed as well. Next slide. Okay, so this has been the one that the county has been very patient on, and Verigy has been patient as well, trying to get the state to give the land ownership over from the landfill, and it's like a football that just keeps bouncing. It's just not making any progress. So we're still right where we were the last time I gave a meeting update. I think it was in January. No progress has been made on that. So you're going to see something here shortly. We're recommending that you utilize that money that was there for that, instead of waiting and waiting for the state to decide whatever they're going to do, because it's been over a couple years now. Utilize that money to go for the Chandler Jail solar. You'll recall that when we did the Chandler Jail, there was we were told not to do anything there, because you were in the midst of trying to get some bonds passed or millages approved to do some renovation work there. So they didn't want to complicate everything with that. So we really didn't do anything with solar at the jail, but that's one of the highest energy users in the county. It's a 24-hour occupied facility. So obviously that's a big opportunity to do solar. So we're going to recommend that. Next slide.
That's a question on the
Sure.
previous slide.
Sure.
Back that slide up.
Which slide?
Yeah, it's the one with the landfill slide.
The work on the landfill, it's 20%, solar is 20% done, and the treatment plant is 20% done.
Yep.
If I've read this document
Yeah.
correctly.
It's less
Recommending that we
than 20.
amend that?
It's less than 20% done. So what we did is we got all the solar panels and the inverters and everything to put the solar in, but we could not start constructing anything until the land ownership was deeded back to the county. So we've just been hanging on to that, and so we haven't done that. So all the engineering is done, all the permitting is done through Eagle. Everything has been ready to go now for over a year. It's been 2 years since we were on a meeting with the people from the state, both real estate, their attorney generals, assistant attorney general was on there, and they said it would take 45 days to 60 days, and that was like July of 2024, and here it is now. We're still waiting, and that money that was lent by Bank of America has just been sitting there. The good news is I got them to extend the escrow earnings, so you're earning, money on that, but, they have to close that out pretty soon here. And so we're just recommending to use that money, that all that design is ready. And Verigy would still love to do that project if the state ever gives you the land, but we can't do any construction on their land until it's actually deeded over to you.
Right. I understand the problems with the state and the ownership of the land, but that landfill project is an important project. That's why it was added to this overall project to begin with.
Yeah,
They're still pumping, 5,000 gallons a day?
yeah,
Then we must still be using the hazardous waste hauling contractor to put this leachate into tankers,
yes.
drive it off-site, and dispose of it at a hazardous waste landfill. And maybe you know the number. I tried to look it up this morning. I didn't find it. Your original documents said that we are spending, it was either $9,000 a month or $90,000 a month to haul this leachate away. Do you recall that exact number?
Yeah, it was 9,000. It was a little over $100,000 a year and that was a couple years ago. So I don't know what today's costs, because I'm assuming that those costs are going up with gas costs and, all the regulations with the EPA with wastewater plants and how they have to dispose of it now. I'm sure that cost is up now, so that would be a
course.
better question to ask Mike. He might know exactly what it's been, but it's been, 4 years ago was when we got that information that it was like $9,000 a month.
Yes. Now, the potential change order that you're talking about, we're going to fund some of that from the escrow fund, which currently has $1 million or more in it. I would like to see this Dalton landfill wastewater treatment plant completed. We shouldn't just leave that leachate in the ground, pumping it out as we can.
Yep.
And I understand adding the solar panels to the Chanter Road facility. I know it's been a couple of years since you put this original estimate together. How much would the cost be, your best guess at this time, to finish that landfill wastewater treatment facility?
The last meeting I came in January, we gave what was originally anticipated to be change order number 3, anticipating that the state would give approval, which they haven't yet. And that was like another 1.2 million, if I remember correctly, because costs have went up. And then remember, a tornado hit the building last spring and wiped the building out, so the building has to be rebuilt as well. And so that's part of the reason why the costs went up. And everything's, went up since like 3 years ago when we originally did the project. So what we're suggesting to do is it's a more fiscally responsible decision to take the money that's there and actually let it work for you to actually generate savings, because you're going to actually generate about $20,000 more per year of savings than what the leachate hauling savings was. And that's going to, over the life cycle of that solar system, over, you know, the 35-year life of those panels, it's going to way outproduce, what the leachate, well, maybe not way outproduce, but it's going to produce significant savings, and you can get them now. And you can also still get the investment tax credit that's available on that solar, which is sunsetting with the one big beautiful bill that got passed by President Trump.
Well, I would like to see some way that we can add the solar panels to the, am I disturbing somebody?
Yeah, you're carrying on about something that we have no effect on.
Of course we have effect on it.
We don't. Board of Commissioners have nothing to do with it.
Then why are we even,
You and Lansing.
then why are we even talking about it?
I don't know, you're talking about it.
Why is this even on our agenda if we don't have any impact on this?
We're talking about the landfill we have no impact on. We could move on, if you don't mind.
You know, I'm almost done. And if other people are impatient, I guess I don't care. I would like to see a way we can finish the Dalton landfill wastewater treatment facility, because that is necessary, and add these solar panels out at the Chandler Road. I'm not willing yet to vote yes in favor of deleting that landfill wastewater treatment facility.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to the board to decide. Just
Is there a
make,
chairman
just
that
to be
told us it's
clear,
not?
just to be clear, Verigy wants to do that project. We wanted to do it. That is an exciting project. It's going to help make environmentally, safe for the ground and for the people of Jackson County, not having, PFAS go in the ground that could potentially cause, cancer and stuff like that. So it's not only is it a savings thing, it's an environmentally responsible thing to do. But unfortunately, we have our hands tied. We can't do anything until Lansing approves it.
Correct.
So we think that it's more fiscally responsible to use that money now and actually get this additional savings that can be done at the jail, which is really, really good. And then once that does get approved, we can, complete the landfill as well at that time. So
Okay,
could you
but
do the next slide?
We still have over $1 million in our escrow fund.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
yep. Next slide, please. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I guess my question goes to, how do we cut the Gordian knot? The risk of proceeding without having title is on us or on someone else? That's on us. It's a risk that we can decide to take if we choose.
No.
Well, I want to investigate what the risks are and whether they're acceptable for us to take, even if we don't have title.
Well, we can't physically do that because the contractors won't work on property we do not own. They're taking a risk as well. And no contractor is going to go build something on property we do not own. The state has talked a good game, but it's, like Dick said, it's been years. Most recent conversation, it is still not moved at all. Once it was tie-barred to the Livingston County legislation bill. And from what I understand, that bill's a little more dicey and controversial. It may not come forward anytime soon. There's a whole lot of other variables involved in the funding itself. As Dick alluded to, the tax credit ends in July. So we come to a point where we have to pivot if we want to bring in an extra $500,000, I think it's $493,000, into a project. Otherwise, that just goes away. Why leave money on the table is the point.
So I'm not suggesting any of the things that I'm talking about. I just
Okay.
want to understand the risks that are involved. Even if we were to indemnify a contractor and order them to go to work on the property, you're suggesting they would be, well, I guess the question is, what's the cost of the risk of doing that? And
It's
no
just-
contractor probably would do that, is what
It's
you're
just money.
saying.
The cost is money, guys. That's all it
sure.
really is. Risk, we're not talking about people going to jail. We're talking about
Right.
money, is all it is.
And the risk, it would be a political risk. The state would say, oh my God, what are you doing on our property? We'd say, well, we're doing what we told you we were going to do, but you can't get off dead center and get this title thing fixed. That's a political risk that I think works in our benefit, doesn't work to the state's benefit, but at the same time, we would be putting perhaps a financial risk upon our citizens that's unacceptable for us to do. That's where I think we are.
Yeah, I
In
would
other
agree.
words, we can't just kind of blunder forward, as I might have suggested.
We
a
did
moment
not
ago.
have a better alternative for the money and for energy savings and so forth. Perhaps, maybe that's a risk we should entertain. But frankly, we do have a better alternative. We can divert the money towards the jail out there and offset their, what is it, $9,000 a month in electrical costs. And the landfill was originally, it was one of our first projects. It's what kind of got this thing going, because we were spending up to $100,000 a year in hauling and all that stuff. Every time it rains, that's more water we have to haul away ultimately. But at the same time, we have done it for forever, for 20 plus years. You know, it's one of those things that's going to continue to happen. And I really can't control it. It's not a savings. It's a savings, but it's not a simple savings as solar. You know, is simple, putting solar out there. So yeah, it'd been nice if it would have worked out, but unfortunately, at some point, you got to just stop and say we need to move forward.
Thanks, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to investigate these options.
I believe John Willis would like to speak.
Yes, thank you. My question is to the administrator. So we make reference to the tie bar. Is the tie bar that's holding this down? Or my understanding is that this passed through the Senate unanimously. The tie bar was by Veronica Kleinfeld, but the problem is we can't get it to the floor for a vote in the House, is what my understanding. Is that correct?
The way I understand, yeah, I went up and testified twice. Both committees passed out of committee unanimously. And it was ready to go to the governor pretty much, pretty close, except on the floor it got tie barred. And
Well,
And that was
the
the-
tie bar passed unanimously in the Senate. That
to
passed
tie
unan-
it, you mean?
Yeah. No, for it to pass to the House. It is passed in the Senate.
I'm not sure. Well, pardon me?
No,
Yeah,
the House hasn't brought it to the floor for a vote.
All I really know is that,
Brought it to the floor for a vote in '24 when we asked. The Senate took it up in '25. They tie barred it. It is now, and passed by the Senate with the tie bar. It is now resting in the,
On the House.
well, it's resting in the negotiating committee. Is really where it's resting. Because you have two different bills that you've got to be married together.
Okay, because my understanding of it, after a lot of research, is that it's waiting to get a vote in the House.
As of
It hasn't been brought to the
October
floor.
28th, 2025, it's in the Senate. Senate Bill 478 is referred to the Committee on Appropriations and it's sitting there, according to the Michigan Legislature website.
well, in my conversation, most recent, within the last month or so, was Representative Leitner. And she's obviously frustrated by the whole thing, and it's tied up and not moving forward, and she doesn't see it moving forward at this point anytime soon, which leaves us on a pickle, because at the end of the day, the tax credit will go away in July, whether we do anything or not. And that leaves, like I say, closer to $500,000 that we would have foregone.
Thank you. My previous words, nothing I said implied that we should proceed with construction without the title transfer. I didn't imply that, didn't say that anywhere. Don't misconstrue that, so you can poke arrows at me. It would be foolish for us to proceed with the construction before the land is legally transferred into our ownership. What I'm saying is that we should not take the Dalton landfill project off of our Verigy project, and we should not spend all of our money so that we can't come back to it once the land is legally transferred into our name, into the county ownership. So don't twist around what I said so you can poke fingers at me.
Mr. Chair,
Sorry.
I don't have anything, but I don't think John was quite finished yet.
No, I was just looking at, because what I'm looking at is that the bill in the Senate we spoke about passed, Deb, in November of '25.
According to the legislative website, legislature.mi.gov, the bill for Livingston County, which is Tybar to ours.
Yeah, the Tybar bill, see, which became 4135.
4135 is the House bill, the Senate bill is 478. And that bill, 478, in October of 2025 was referred to the Appropriations Committee and has been sitting, according to the legislative website.
So it's not in Matt Hall's office at this time?
This is the Senate bill, so it wouldn't go to Matt Hall. Matt Hall's the House. Yeah, but it's sitting in the Appropriations Committee, according to the Senate version.
Okay, can you check on the date of November of '25? Because I'm understanding that November 2025, 4135 came to the Senate, was sent to the House.
4135.
Yeah.
Just for clarity's sake, there's a time frame. The money has to be spent or we have to refund it, correct?
We have to use it on our debt service. Right now, we're in a position of, we're gonna run over the April deadline, and we're gonna end up having to extend the escrow. We've asked for that, and I've had to speak to legal as well about arbitrage, make sure we can get a legal determination that there's not arbitrage. It's against the law, basically, to borrow money and then just sit on it for interest purposes, for revenue purposes.
So let me frame it better this way. Waiting on, regardless if it's in the Senate or the House or the committee, would potentially take it past that deadline. Am I correct in stating that?
Very much,
Okay, thank you.
as well as the July deadline, which is the tax credit money.
So according to the legislative website, House Bill 4135, it was returned from the Senate with amendments.
Right, returned from the Senate, passed the Senate on November 13th, 2025, roll call 297-360,
Yeah,
and forwarded to the House.
yeah, returned to the House with amendments,
Yeah,
so they have to deal with the amendments.
so it's sitting at the House now. Right, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Could I have the next slide, please? Okay, this just gives you an overall summary of all the energy conservation measures and the stuff remaining to be completed. So the stuff in red was the stuff we just talked about for the last 10 or 15 minutes to the landfill. Next slide, please. This is the solar layout for the Chandler Jail. You can see the solar panels there at the bottom. Those will be installed and the trees will have to be moved, and we'll put a security fence around that, a 6-foot high security fence to keep everything safe there. And this solar is designed to offset up to 110% of the current loads that are on the meters right now for that site. Part of the reason why we did that is because we understand that there's going to be a potential, possibly a potential expansion of the morgue where you're going to maybe double the size of it to add some additional refrigeration, which takes electricity. So We made sure that we sized it and accommodated that for that. And so you'll have more than enough capacity to do similar things for that site that we're doing now for the youth center. Next slide. So overall, as far as the change order for what we're going to now call this change order 3, we anticipate that the scope would be installing a 510 kilowatt solar array, which will be the largest single array, that the county has. It will offset 95% of the facility's electrical usage. You can you saw the picture of where it was going to be located. We originally offered a number of things, a number of possible locations, and that was the best place to put it, where it's anticipated to go now. It's just like all the other thing, it's a turnkey installation. It will provide investment tax credit IRA rebate of just under $500,000. That will pretty much fund most of the additional $645,000 cost. And then some of the funding sources to help offset that initially is the $1 million of escrow, and that $1 million balance was as of November. So I think if Cecilia was to reach out to the bank, that might be 1.2 million now, or it's probably definitely up to 1.1 million. But that was as of November when she got the last update. So that would be there to help fund it. And then 2 other sources of funding that could potentially do this is we had projected construction savings on this job originally. We actually accrued additional construction savings of energy savings of $105,000 on this project than what we actually showed in our original cash flow. So that's additional monies that could be used. And then we didn't project any rebates from Consumers Energy that you got for putting in the lighting and a lot of the new HVAC systems that we put in. And that was $77,000 that we already processed, and you got those checks back from consumers. So that's how the thing could be funded. And then obviously the energy savings of almost $2.9 million over the next 20 years that the solar would generate for you. Next slide. So this is just to give you a frame. If you could go back to that other slide. It's basically the same picture. Yeah, it's basically the same picture that's right there. I just wanted to show you this. It would be a ground mounted array. You can see the rows at the youth center there. And fenced in. It'd be the same type of scenario, just way, way larger for the Chandler jail. So it would look exactly like that at the youth center. And then the bills would be similar to what, if you go to the next slide, you can see that, you've actually been getting a negative, you're actually generating more than what you're using. So you're getting a credit of like almost $1,000 a month. From consumers. You can see that's negative, and that's what's similar is going to happen at the jail. So it's really good. You're offsetting everything, and you're actually earning money back from consumers. So that's good. And then the next slide, this is just, we have what's called a light level dashboard. This is actually,
Dick?
Yep.
To be clear, you said we're earning money back. Are they cutting us a check? Because I didn't think that's how it worked.
no, they're just crediting, your bill
Electric.
and then applying it towards other bills. Yep.
I brought this up in the chair-vice chair meeting, and we didn't have an answer for it. So let's just say the youth center, you took an example of, they have the credit there.
Yep.
Has anyone explored whether that can be transferred to any of the county buildings that are with consumers, or is it specific to that property that the credit can be used?
I think that's something that you should talk to your consumer's account rep, but I believe that what will happen is it's being transferred to your bills for other, sites, because if you're going to continue to have a negative bill, you know, that money should be transferred out to your other.
Yeah,
other
because you never
accounts.
realize it. That's the whole point. So yeah, you got a negative credit, but who cares
Yeah.
if you can't transfer it to a building that is actually paying a bill?
I think the way they do it, they call it their distributed energy program. It's called net metering. So when you produce more, they credit it back. And I think what happens is at the end of the year, I think they might do a true up at the end of a year or something. That's something you should ask your consumers rep about.
Mike, is that something you can look into, please? You're doing it as we speak. All right. All right. Thank you.
Yep. And so this is something that's on your county website right now. You can see how much energy is being generated, like, you know, on a per day basis. You see the bar graph there, the colors, and how much kilowatt hours have been generated, you know, since these arrays have been put in place, and that's like almost $94,000 so far that's been generated in savings. So and we're still in construction. So the way this works is once we finish construction, that's when the guarantee, when you sign the delivery and acceptance of the project, that's when the guarantee starts. So this is just banked savings or construction savings that's there. So that's a nice visual. So you can see, you could go on this website any day, and hey, if you want to know, hey, what did we generate today, you can see right there. So next slide, please. That's pretty much all I had for you today. We do have a change order that we're going to be submitting for change order 3 for the Channer Jail. Depending on if the county wanted us to still have the landfill open on that project instead of using the money, we'd be willing to do whatever you want. The way we anticipated, the way we're anticipating writing the change order up is to remove the landfill from the project and then pivot to have the Channer Jail. But then all the engineering and designs and the permitting is done so that when and if the state finally does, you know, give the land over to you, we would love to do that project, because for us, that's an exciting thing. That was one of the most exciting things. The solar and that, for me, were the two things I was the most excited about with this project, because having grown up here in Jackson, you know, I was pretty passionate about that. So I will do whatever you want, but right now we were planning on removing the landfill and then adding that whenever, you know, doing it as a separate project whenever that gets approved by the state.
To be clear, though, we do not have the money to do both.
Right.
The money we borrowed will be expended on the jail if we move forward. We'll have granted, in the end, probably a little over $1 million left from the escrow account and so forth,
Yep.
that we would have to apply towards our debt service. It's not like we can use it to pay some other bill with. It would go back to the debt. If we had an additional project, if we wanted to do the landfill at that time, we would use that money as seed and have to borrow more money to make that project a viable project financially. FYI.
And I'm sure the Bank of America would be willing to add more to that.
We're a
for
good
that.
customer. I'm sure they would too.
At that time.
We pay our bills.
So,
But again, the reason we're punting is there's no guarantees with the state. We've been waiting for years now. Word I'm hearing up there from Sarah Leitner is that it's going nowhere fast. We do have an expiration on the tax credit in July. We will lose if we don't pivot and do something different. I don't like to leave money laying on the table. And we have a need. This jail is, you know, it varies, but it's $9,000 a month in electrical costs that we will offset. And the credit for the youth center, we're showing a credit, but we're already offsetting 100% of the electrical bill there too, and a credit. So again, saving money at the end of the day. So it's, in my mind, it's the best option at this time, given the situation we are in. And it's low-hanging fruit. Solar, offset electric is pretty easy to do. Additional questions, Commissioner Plesky?
Thanks, Mr. Administrator. And can we back up to the picture of the Channer Jail and the proposed solar array? Sorry, I'm sorry this is a challenge. The question, with respect to that project, we see where the solar array would be and the tree line would be moved back, I suppose.
Yep.
Doesn't make much sense to shade a solar array.
Right, we were
Okay.
gonna remove those trees.
So, my question is with respect to security fencing and whether the sheriff is aware of the plan and either agrees that there will be no additional cost of securing the area or that somehow the incremental cost of securing the area is acceptable. That's
Yep, we've had conversations with the sheriff about the whole thing there, and he has no problem with it, thinks it's a good idea. Won't adversely affect any potential expansion in the jail in the future. In fact, we are building it as such that we could add additional solar array panels to increase the load or the amount of electricity if we needed to do that.
I'm just trying to head off a potential argument that, oh my goodness, we're somehow subjecting ourselves to incremental costs.
No, and it's on the
jail.
south side of the facility, so no one will even know it's there with the trees and the buildings. It's again, it's not up by the road or anything like that. The PowerPoint has given us difficulty this morning, but anyway, yeah.
So but the security fence for the jail would go outside the trees, or
No, it would go around the new solar arrays.
It's not a security fence for the jail. It's a security fence. It's the regular fence we put around all solar arrays. Nothing secure.
gotcha? We don't have to have guards and stuff. for
No,
this
no,
fence.
no, no.
Okay, well, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Make
it's
sure I understand.
outside of that fence.
Yes, this will be outside of the existing security fence. So we aren't changing anything with the existing layout. This will be, so the, where you see that kind of concrete walkway is the existing security fence.
Got it.
We will be on the southern side of that. There'll be the necessary gap that the sheriff needs to maintain because they have some sensors around the fence that tells them if there's anyone walking or anything like that. And so coordinate that gap that's required with them, and then the fence for the solar array itself would start as its own separate fence, around where you see those blue panels starting
Thank
right
you
now.
for tolerating my elementary understanding.
Good question.
Additional questions? If not, we hope to bring this to committee and full board. That way we can get the ball rolling. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but we have to commit to or contract with the project or solar panels by July ultimately
Yes,
to apply for that grant?
yeah, July 3rd, if we have to have build out 5% of the project by then.
Okay.
In order to safe harbor that for, for
And
the
you're
ITC.
confident you can do that if we approve the project?
Yes.
Okay. Questions, concerns? Again, you'll have opportunity at committee as well as full board, because by then I should have all the additional numbers for the project, the change order itself
Yep.
for people to look at.
Yep.
And all that, and we'll work through that, and hopefully on a Tuesday night later this month, we'll be able to move forward. That's the goal. And again, I wouldn't say that we'll never do the landfill. I'm just saying that we don't have the money with this funding source and timeline to do both. And so I want to go ahead and move forward on this. And if and when we ever have ownership of the property up there, well, then we can look for other funding sources. If it's a good project today, it's always going to be a good project to eliminate the hauling of leachate if we can. So with that, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, or Mr. Administrator. Have we tried to send a resolution to the governor's office in regards to this?
We have had all kinds of conversations with the governor's office, with Sarah, this has gone on for years. And they all know us, but I'm not sure why, but politics are fickle.
Thank you.
I'd like to close and thank the board for your support and understanding on this project for the last 3 years that we've been working on it. And we're doing a good job, and we'll continue to do a good job for the county. Thank you.
We've arrived at the second opportunity for public comment. If anyone would like to address the board, they have 3 minutes. Commissioner comments? Any commissioner comments? Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn. Questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, duly carried.
Oh, I'm charged, so.